Hey, everybody. Oh my goodness. I am so excited today because I have my friend Stephanie with me, and she's from up north, Canada. Is it cold there right now?
Always. And we're getting a lot of snow. There's a lot of snow coming.
I know. I'm like, whenever I feel like complaining, I just talk to Stephanie, and she's like,
Yeah.
and her
I'm
friends,
like,
and
really?
like, they're buried all the time. So, we have something to complain about. But we have some incredible things to talk about today. So, Stephanie she used to own a daycare in her home, which for me, that as a former teacher, that sounds absolutely chaotic. Stephanie, if you could just talk a little bit about that, and then just how you found the whole direct sales space and your journey with direct sales.
Absolutely. It was chaotic, but you know what? I came from the hospitality industry. And then when I had my children, I wanted to be home with my kids. So I said, you know what? I'll bring the income to me. And I said, I'm staying home with my son anyways. And then what was supposed to be just a couple years turned into 7 years. And yeah, so I got to know the families really well, the children that hung out with my children and then I had my daughter right after. And so it was a really beautiful space, but it was chaos. At one point I had 6 boys, all under the age of 3. So just think about that for a second. I wish I had mojo back then. So that's a whole nother story. So I was doing that. And then my daughter went to school and both my kids were in school. And I was starting to think, okay, mommy has been mommy for literally 7 years. My career, my world has been put on hold, which totally by choice. I have no regrets. But the thing is, daycare is, yes, hectic, very busy, but also can be very lonely because it's just me and a bunch of toddlers all day for 7 years. And there was a week, I'm in Canada, there was winters I didn't go outside for a solid week because it was just too cold. Yeah. So I was reaching that point where I'm like, okay, I would just love to just connect with other women and get out of the house a little bit. And it's amazing how you can just put that into the universe. And then all of a sudden, my neighbor is having a party. And she was having this party next door, direct sales. I knew nothing about the company, never heard anything about it. And one of my daycare moms was like, you should come. It's amazing. I'm like, okay. So I went and there was probably 20 women just having conversation, hanging out. And I saw these products and I was like, mind blown. And then I got to have adult conversation. And so it kind of just happened. And I wasn't planning on coming in the industry. I had no sales experience. I hadn't had an adult conversation in 7 years. And so I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I had a party, and this is 5 years ago. And my sponsor was like, she had just joined. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing, but you're killing it. You're loving it. Join. And she was very consistent, but just kind of like planting the seed and asking me every so often for about 3 months. And then I finally said, sure. It was $1 to join. There's promotion. I got no product, which I don't recommend. But I said, I was so afraid. And I came from toddler land. So I said, okay, I'll join. It was $1. She's like, if it doesn't work out, I'll buy you a coffee. So I did. And lo and behold, I was just so excited to get out of the house and meet other women and buy makeup again. And it just took a life of its own. And then a year in, not even a year in, I was doing very well and I was obsessed. And then it allowed me to close my daycare, and I gave my daycare notice. And then I had an opportunity to grow to leadership, which again, no interest, but there was a beautiful trip wrapped around that. If I could hit it, I could go to Maui all inclusive. Wow. So I went all in, and I've been doing this full time ever since. And so here we are. And that was 5 years ago. And then I did that specifically for 5 years.
That's amazing. Okay, so you did that, and then I know you switched company, or you added a company on during the pandemic with nails because nobody can go to the nail salon, right? Yes. So can you talk about the success that you had with that, and then kind of how that died off, and then how that led you to us here at Trinidad?
So this is the beauty of this industry, right? Because my office is my phone. My clientele are the people I talk to. You can make it whatever you want. And if you're slow, well, just put more into it and you'll pick up business. And so when the pandemic hit, that was really scary because I came from a world of in-home. This I did not do. I built to the top of the company, top 1% of the company, just by having relationships and being in other people's homes and having that referral system. So when the pandemic hit, it made me really nervous. And then I joined this other company. It was a Canadian company that did nails, but it didn't hurt your nails. It was actually very natural. It's a gel nail that is really good for your nails and it won't damage them. So I said, okay, I'll try it because I was worried, right? And nobody can go to the salon. So I joined. I said, I got nothing to lose. Same thing. I got product this time. I was a good girl and I bought a kit. And I climbed like 6 levels just by selling nail polish. And then when the pandemic kind of settled a little bit, and here in Canada, we were in lockdown for almost 2 years, I'm sure you know.
Yes.
And so when we were released and we were out to go, everyone kind of went back to the salons. And then I was able to kind of, factor back in going back into homes. And so I kind of slid that off. But I had reached a point where something had shifted in me and I wanted a little bit more. I was, I hadn't done daycare in 5 years, and I was now doing this, and I had built a really good, brand. I was known, for what I did, but I was looking for more. And it's funny how things just fall into place. And so a mutual friend of ours who I knew-ish through mutual friends, through the direct selling world, I never bought anything from her, but I followed her. And one day she was holding up a bottle of collagen, and I was like, that's not mascara. What are you doing? And you just reach out, and here is how I was introduced to Trinot. So
that's so awesome. Well, Stephanie, I know she's super modest and humble, but she has held it over here. She is like one of the, one of the trailblazers in Canada right now. She's hit leadership ranks. She's done really well, but more than just the business side, she's really dug deep, more than maybe a lot of people on my team, about the products and about the just the ingredients in the products. But she loves to talk about a product that is very little talked about called Renew. So Stephanie, could you chat just about what you've discovered? She even read a book on it. Like, would you tell us what you discovered about that product Renew when it comes to hormones too? Because I know a lot of women, well, not just women, but men too, but especially women that are our age, that are thinking about like the big M word coming up, that, we're concerned about our hormones. So will you just chat about what you've discovered about that?
So this is why I love this company, because even though I've discovered other products, I came here for the collagen, and I did my research, and I've asked, you can ask her friend Sarah, I asked her so many questions that she didn't know the answer to, because I was asking things people don't ask. And then I dug deep into our products, and our ingredients are so raw and natural and plant-based. And so as I got to the collagen, then I found the Mojo, and then I found the Enrich, and I kind of went through the process. And then all of a sudden I was reading about Renew, which is our vitamin E antioxidant. And I was like, what's this? And so Dr. Barry Tan, I can't believe he's actually one of our scientific advisory board doctors, which to me, and now that I've done all my research, he's like a celebrity in the vitamin E world. And vitamin E, we know very little about it. We know it's hair, nails, and skin. That's all we've always known. But that was basically the tocopherol part of it. Tocotrienols is the other side of the vitamin E, and it comes from the nano plant. And if you were actually to Google it, it's this beautiful red, luscious plant. And you open that bad boy up, and things that come out of there, it'll change your life. And I think everyone should be on this. I know we say that about the collagen, and we say that about certain things, but vitamin E, there's so many things it can do, but in general, the things that stand out the most for me were the hormonal and the cellular renewal. So it can actually build new healthy cells. So we have like 38 trillion cells in our body, but the vitamin E will actually help produce new cells, because every day our cells are dying, right? And our other cells, what happens is that when we have an unhealthy cell, it gravitates itself to a healthy cell, and it'll attach itself and try to take it down, where the vitamin E is actually going to strengthen that healthy cell and actually rejuvenate the damaged cell. So now when this healthy cell and this, not so healthy cell connect, they're both going to thrive together. Wow. So imagine what that can do. Like, I just got chills, what that can do to your body. Yeah. And on just that level alone. So people who are going through cancer treatment or post-cancer treatment, imagine that cellular renewal that you could have. Yeah. Diabetics, people, pancreatic cancer. There's been so many studies that Dr. Barry Tan has done, and the results are mind-blowing. Yeah. And so the hormonal side of it is, I read about that as well. And if you're in premenopause, postmenopause, your cycles are irregular, you're getting hot flashes, mood swings, infertility issues, this can balance out your hormones. And so I physically have tried it, and I've seen massive results, because my hot flashes, for one, were out of control. And I was convinced I was in perimenopause, and my doctor's like, "You're too young." I'm like, "Yeah, but then you tell me I'm too old for other things. So I don't know." So I tried it, and it's been incredible. It's controlled my mood. It's controlled my my heat waves, and my pain during my cycle is so much more controllable, and my cycle is so much better. And the stories on Renew, will change your life. So if you're anybody who's having any issues, even just with sleep, I mean, a lot of our sleep issues and our gut health issues is connected to our sleep, right? So if you don't have healthy sleep, everything is just going to be out of whack. So what it can do is just absolutely magical. There is a book. It's called The Truth About Vitamin E by Dr. Barry Tan. It's on Amazon. It's like $9. It's not very big. I read it in one sitting, and it's mind blowing. Osteoporosis, fibromyalgia, dementia can actually help dementia and amnesia. There's just the cellular renewal and the hormonal health, though, is what got me, and especially for women, because, you know, if you've had children in general, right, your hormones are going to be already, so it's a really nice balance to have. And that's just one of our products, not even the reason I came here. So it just gives you an idea of the quality. And there's 2 ingredients in the entire vitamin E Renew, and that's what we're talking about, plant-based, right? Whole food. It comes from a plant. If it doesn't come from a plant, right, then it's not natural. And that's what I love so much about Trinot. It's all natural.
Yes, I know. It's so great. And I know for myself, my cycles have gotten a lot tamer as well. After I'm only 2 years postpartum. And so, you know, after you get your baby, your last baby, your body is just like very out of whack, lots and lots of bleeding and stuff happening, lots of pain. And I've noticed things have diminished greatly since I've started taking Renew. So
that's so good. I mean, something as simple as the chin hair, right? That happens sometimes. And I started taking, and that would stop. And we don't talk about it. And it's something, because we're afraid to talk about it. But if you sit in a room with a bunch of women and we start to talk about our cycles, the stuff that will come out, right? And it's hormones, and it's your body needs as much as it possibly can to fight off those free radicals in the environment and the stress and everything that we bombard our bodies with. Imagine if you gave it that superpower and that force around those cells to do its job. It's magical.
So good. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. If you are watching this and you, first of all, would love an additional source of income, go back to the person who invited you, and they would love to give you info. And then if you're dealing with any kind of hormonal issues or any of the things that Stephanie talked about, head back to the person who invited you to this, because I know that you will benefit from this amazing little pill called Renew. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Stephanie, again so much. And thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.